Here I am, Sister Paula, that old Pentecostal transgendered preacher. And you know, something that I rarely talk about on my TV shows is politics and ideologies and liberal versus conservative and all that kind of stuff. On the TV show, my television show is a gospel program, so I kind of avoid things like political ideologies and all of that. But yet one thing that I do want to make very clear. Yes, I am liberal. Actually, politically, I consider myself moderate, right down the middle. I feel that either the right-wing extreme or the left extreme, both are lunatic fringes. And in both the conservative end of the poll, right-wing conservatives, and the others who are liberal, who are coming from the left, either extreme is lunatic fringe fanaticism. I believe that the healthy way to live in a democratic society is a middle-of-the-road approach. In the Foursquare Church years ago, that fabulous evangelist Aimee Semple McPherson taught in the spiritual realm of worship a middle-of-the-road approach between uncontrolled Pentecostal fanaticism and ultra-cold church ritual. And kind of a balance where both forms of worship, you know, liturgical forms of worship and Pentecostal forms of worship, they're all biblical, but I kind of like what Aimee Semple McPherson did and bring it kind of a middle of the road approach. And I take that same approach when it comes to right wing versus left wing and liberal versus conservative. I am basically moderate, down the middle, but on some issues I lean more towards the right, and on other issues, as a moderate, I lean toward the left. But either extreme is fanaticism and should be avoided, especially when we're living in a democratic society with people from many different views and ideologies. And so we need to honor I honor as a moderate, politically speaking, both the conservative and the liberal, but I don't like the extreme on either one. Now, I'm saying that to say this: there are some conservative people on TV and conservative preachers that one would assume that me, Sister Paula, a transgendered preacher, would not like, because they automatically put me in the box as liberal, and then some of these people on TV as conservative. However, I can listen to some conservative preachers, not all of them, but I could listen to some conservative preachers and personalities on TV and actually enjoy them and maybe even agree with some of the things that they say. In this society and culture that we live in, it's extremely important that people can agree to disagree. And John Hagee, who is a conservative preacher in San Antonio, Texas, whom I thoroughly enjoy, even though he probably doesn't approve of me as a transsexual, but it doesn't matter. John Hagee is a Christian Zionist. I am a Christian Zionist, so we're on the same page with that particular issue. But he said one time, when two people agree on everything, there's no need for one of them. And more truer words were not spoken. Now, there are some conservative personalities, and I am going to name names. Like I say, on the YouTube, I take a little bit more liberty than I do on my regular gospel program. But the extreme right and the extreme left, there are some conservatives on TV that I won't watch. Preachers or newscasters or politicians that are conservative, that I can't stand them. And the minute they come on the screen, I hit the channel clicker and go on to another channel. And one of them is Dick Morris. I do not like Dick Morris. I don't like anything about him, and I'm not the least bit interested in a thing he has to say. And the minute I see the face of Dick Morris on TV, I go on to another channel. Another one I can't stand is Sarah Palin. And I'm not interested in listening to her. I'm not here to badmouth her. I'm just saying these are examples of conservatives that I will not listen to. Dick Morris and Sarah Palin, and most of the time Hannity. I won't watch him either. However, I enjoy Bill O'Reilly. I find him of course, Bill O'Reilly says he's not conservative, that he's moderate, but he does lean quite a ways toward the conservative on some issues, but I find him entertaining. Bill O'Reilly is on for an hour, but usually in the first half hour he has guests like Dick Morris that I don't want to watch, but I usually watch the last half hour of his program, and I find it very enjoyable and very entertaining, and even though I don't agree with everything he says. And the same thing with John Hagee from the Preachers thing. John Hagee, when it comes to human sexuality issues, I totally disagree with, but yet when it comes to, as I said before, the Christian Zionists and other Pentecostal teachings, John Hagee comes from the same Assemblies of God background that I come out of. I love to listen to him preach, and when he does say something once in a while that's considered anti-gay, I forgive him immediately and enjoy the things that he says that I do like. Rod Parsley is a preacher. I hit the channel clicker. I cannot stand that man at any rate. But at any rate, in closing my little talk, one extreme conservative person that I enjoy and I find her very entertaining, is Ann Coulter. That's right. Can you imagine Sister Paula and Ann Coulter together on the same program? Oh, that would be wonderful. Although, Ann Coulter with Al Sharpton, together of them have been really, their interaction is wonderful. But I find Ann Coulter very entertaining, and let's face it, her books are on the bestseller list, and you have to respect and give her credit for that, even though she's got a book called If Democrats Had Brains, They'd Be Republicans. Well, I would do it just the other round and say if the Republicans had brains, they'd be Democrats. But the first time I saw Ann Coulter, whew, I tell you, I was mad. I was offended. Then I realized I stopped taking Ann Coulter seriously, and I actually find her very enjoyable and entertaining. I won't watch her, though, on Hannity. Ann Coulter with Hannity or Sarah Palin with Hannity, that's just too much. But when Ann Coulter goes on any of the other shows, Larry King Live and Bill O'Reilly, I do watch her and enjoy her. And so at any rate, so Ann, if you're listening to this podcast, Sister Paula, that liberal, Pentecostal, transgender preacher, I won't buy your books, but put me down as one of your fans when you come on television. That's it for now. Bye.